I believe that us human beings, we are sent on the earth by God, by the Almighty, to go through pain, to go through different types of pains. The different types of pains that we go through across our lifetime can be of different types, can be of different severity. The major types that I can think of, that we can think of, that we go through across our lifetime are death or loss of a loved one, sudden financial loss, sudden loss of a limb, sudden loss of an organ, sudden diagnosis of a chronic illness, and cheating or divorce or separation from a loved one. When I say death of a loved one, I include deaths of our parents, deaths of our partner or our companion, or death of our child. However, I do put cheating among that list. I do consider cheating as one of the biggest pains a human being can go through. Cheating and the resultant breakup. I'll tell you why. Because as human beings, we are kind of prepared, we are kind of aware that the deaths, the financial losses, the academic losses, clinical illnesses, these are practically possible. These are plausible things on earth. However, when it comes to a relationship, when we are madly in love with that person, we go into this zone of denial. कि ये मेरे साथ ऐसा नहीं कर सकता. This is just not possible. This person will never cheat on me. But when they do, is when all hell breaks loose. इसीलिए I keep telling people that when somebody goes through cheating, when somebody is going through infidelity, the pain that they are experiencing, the immense pain that they are experiencing, is as bad as the worst pains that they can experience across their lifetime. So what happens when someone finds out that they have been cheated upon? Exactly that moment, जब पता चला कि उन्होंने चीट किया है, that they have been having an affair with someone else, मोबाइल में कुछ मैसेज देख लिया, किसी ने दोस्त ने फ़ोन कर दिया, या किसी ने बोल दिया कि उनको वहाँ पे देखा गया था उनके साथ. What happens at that moment? Your heart explodes out of pain. Now that's practically, physiologically, anatomically not possible. However, this is a symbolic example of the pain that the human being, that person can go through because of that one piece of information that they never wanted to receive, yet they received. जब पता चलता है ना, दिस इज मूवी जिसमें बॉलीवुड मूवी जिसमें एक डायलॉग है, जब दिल टूटता है ना तब हलक से निवाला नहीं उतरता. दैट्स एग्जैक्टली व्हाट हैपेंस व्हेन यू फाइंड आउट दैट यू बीन चीटेड अपॉन. You start praying that this should not happen, this should not be the reality. You become so desperate कि नहीं होना चाहिए ऐसा, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. There are different stages of grief. Whenever a person goes through some kind of pain, they go through different stages of grief. Denial, anger, bargaining, acceptance, depression and acceptance. But depression and acceptance comes at a very later stage. Initially, the person keeps swinging between denial, anger, and bargaining. नहीं होना चाहिए, ऐसा यार नहीं होना चाहिए. Or why did it happen? How can this happen? The anger or bargaining. Please, मैं कुछ कर दूँ ऐसा. Somebody tell me something. I'm ready to do anything for this to not happen, for this to be undone. But it is the reality. It is a reality that is so painful that we are desperate कि ये ना हो, ये exist ना करे. It is a reality that breaks us. It is a reality that we do not want it to exist. It gives us trauma. Now, trauma is a very strong word. Normally, the definition of trauma arises when somebody goes through immense physical, physiological damage because of, let's say, war or a major accident. However, the pain that person is feeling at that moment is equivalent to a severe physical trauma, because in that moment, during those days, the person feels कि इससे अच्छा होता मैं मेरा एक्सीडेंट में मेरी मौत हो जाती, मुझे कुछ मेजर इलनेस आ जाए, कुछ हो जाए. पर ये आई डोंट वांट टू फील दिस, आई डोंट वांट टू गो थ्रू इट, आई डू नॉट वांट टू एक्सेप्ट द रियलिटी. इट्स अ स्टेट ऑफ शॉक. द इमेंस नेगेटिव इमोशंस दैट अ पर्सन इज फीलिंग, your mind, our human mind, is not physiological, it's not psychologically prepared to go through that psychological earthquake. It is that painful. Every single negative emotion that exists, that a human being can feel, वो सब एक साथ वो उस दौरान feel करते हैं. And it is that severe that the person cripples down. They start breaking. It destroys them. Now, when they find out What do they feel like doing? When we find out कि partner ने cheat किया, what do we feel like doing? We feel like questioning them. बताओ क्यों किया? How could you do this to me? We feel like arguing with them. We feel like yelling at them. We feel like killing them. We feel like slapping them, beating them. We feel like begging them, please don't do this. We do anything and everything with that hope कि वो कुछ ऐसा कर दे, कुछ ऐसा कह दे जिससे ये रियलिटी ना रहे, कुछ ऐसा जस्टिफिकेशन मिल जाए. दे गिव मी सम एक्सप्लेनेशन, सम जस्टिफिकेशन, जिससे ये पता चले कि नहीं, दिस हैज़ नॉट हैपेंड, और इफ इट हैज़ हैपेंड देयर इज अ जस्टिफाइबल प्लॉजिबल रीजन कि जिससे मेरा पेन कम हो जाए. आई कैन सम हाउ पुट माई माइंड एट पीस सेइंग दैट ओके, इसकी वजह से ऐसा हुआ था. I might start stalking the other person. I might start going and telling and meeting that other person ki how could you do this? How dare you do this? Might lash out at that person. I feel like giving pain, inflicting pain on myself out of that desperation कि यार मुझे और कुछ दुख होगा तो शायद ये दुख कम फील होगा. Start abusing substances. I may start self-harming. I'll start doing things that I would never have done in my life. I would cross my moral boundary. I might also feel like blocking my partner. I might also feel like suddenly, impulsively breaking up with my partner. And multiple things that I could never imagine I would do, I start feeling like doing it, or I even may start doing them. Why you shouldn't do it? For obvious reasons. Because, as again, it is very hard for you to believe it right now that this is a temporary state of mind, no matter how painful it is. It is a temporary state of mind, temporary phase, but you will feel that it is going to last forever. And there is no way out of this. And hence, you might end up doing things that you would never do. You might want to cross your boundaries. You might want to start consuming alcohol, other substances that you would never imagine like do. You might want to start getting into rebound relationships. And these things are something that you would never do otherwise. Hence, you should not do them. Because once this phase gets over, once you get out of this phase, you would regret those things. You should not impulsively break up with that person. I'll tell you why. Because the pain that you're going through and any decision that you take in that pain might end up complicating your mind further. You already are going through a pain of cheating. ऐसे में impulse में गुस्से में अगर breakup कर लिया, then you are adding on to your pain. You can break up. Of course, you can break up. You should break up if at all you want to. But that decision should be taken once you reach a stable state of mind after a few days, maybe a few weeks. You should not self-harm. You should not do things that will harm yourself. Why? Because this person, this relationship does not define you or your worth. You were there. आपका वजूद था उनके आपकी लाइफ में आने से पहले, and आप रहोगे उनके आपकी लाइफ से जाने के बाद भी. If they have cheated on you, it does not mean it is your fault. So you have to get out of that zone that you might have done something wrong which made them cheat on you. You should stop seeking justification or any explanation from them. Why did they do it? How did they do it? You should stop seeking any information from them with that hope that something that they might say that will decrease your pain. Why? Because there is absolutely nothing that they can say जिससे आपका दुख कम होगा. You can imagine anything and everything. They'll give you a logical reason, गलती हो गई, ऐसे हुआ, you were not available, anything that they'll say. That pain is not going to reduce. That justification is not going to reduce your pain. Also, there is no justification that exists on this planet that can justify cheating. Any information that you are seeking to reduce your pain, हमें एक आता है कि अगर हमें बहुत दुख हो रहा है तो we start seeking information कि शायद और कुछ पता चल जाए तो मुझे थोड़ा अच्छा लगेगा. However, any information that you seek will only increase your pain. क्या हुआ, कहाँ हुआ, कितनी बार हुआ, कब से चल रहा है, ये सब और जान के you are inflicting more pain upon yourself. इसीलिए you have to stop seeking more information. You have to understand again that doing anything in desperation to reduce your pain, मैं क्या करूं अभी के अभी कि मेरा दुख कम हो जाए, कुछ भी करने से दुख बढ़ेगा, either in magnitude or in duration. It is very important that you do not do it. In that case, what you should do? go against your mind, go against your body, the very important thing that you are supposed to do is nothing. Now, actively I'm asking you to do nothing. In all the other case scenarios, doing nothing is a passive process. However, in this state of mind, in the pain that you're going through, your body's, your mind's natural responses are to do something immediately to feel better. However, anything that you will do will increase your pain. Hence, you have to actively decide that for that duration of time, while you are grieving, while you are processing, while you are healing, you are not supposed to do anything, do nothing. However, if at all you want to do, because there's a lot of negative energy building up inside you, you have to channelize it. Then channelize it towards things. Cheese, exercise, music, travel, work. So do anything. Do not expect anyone, any person to come and help you and to come and relieve you of your pain, because that's not possible. Don't involve people, involve things, because they will not react. And the amount of energy you put in is the amount of return you will get from that thing. No matter what you do, you are not going to feel better. So just do it to channelize your negative energy. Don't exercise, don't go and start playing sports with that hope that, okay, I'll start feeling better if I start playing cricket. Or I'll start playing video games, I'll feel better. No, you are not going to feel better. There's this immense pain that you're going through. There's nothing that can happen with you. There's nothing that you can do that will make you feel better. Feeling better is a gradual process. So channelize that negative energy towards things. Eat well. You will not feel like eating. Halak se niwala nahi utrega. But fir bhi, eat. Keep yourself hydrated. Go work. Don't change your lifestyle. Don't change your routine. Nahi man hoga. But still, push yourself. Get out of your bed. Fir bhi, go work. Even if you don't feel like doing. Surround yourself with friends who are ready to listen to you, because you also might want to vent out. And you would not want to do that to that partner of yours who is cheated on you. Because you'll again have that hope that इसने बुरा लगाया है, इसने गलत किया है, अब इसकी responsibility है, मुझे अच्छा लगा है. No, I'm not going to expect that from them. Rather, I'm going to vent out in front of my friends, if at all I feel like. Whenever there'll be waves of pain, मैं phone कर दूंगा, उनके साथ बैठ जाऊंगा, and I'll vent it out. I will again say, you will have that strong desperation to do something immediately जिससे आपका दुख कम हो जाए, some magic. And in that case, in that desperation, you might end up doing something जिससे आपका pain बढ़ेगा. This is a pain that can be relieved, that will be relieved on its own only. It's a process, and in that process, you have to actively do nothing. It's a passive process, वो अपने आप ठीक होता जाएगा. Seeking more information, doing anything in desperation to feel better, asking for justifications, all these things are just going to increase your pain. Now, I mentioned about the pain. I mentioned about what you feel like doing. I also mentioned about what you should not do and what you should do. But the actual reality is that us human beings, we are in so much pain that it might become very difficult to not do those things. It might become very difficult to control ourselves. But if we are able to do it, if you'll be able to do what I asked you to do, you might actually be able to get out of that pain. You're going to feel X amount of pain. If you'll just absorb it, feel it, वो खत्म हो जाएगा. जल्दबाजी करोगे तो नहीं होगा. However, since I know that it's very difficult, the reality is that it is very difficult to implement what I said. But still, if you will do it, you will get better. You will feel right now कि आगे कोई hope नहीं है, अब इसमें से बाहर निकलने का कोई रास्ता नहीं है, ये दुख कभी खत्म नहीं होने वाला. However, we know that, we have seen that, सब ये दुख खत्म होगा and होता ही है. इसीलिए trust yourself, trust this pain, trust that this pain will get over and you will be out of it. Thank you.